Hello, I'm ABX and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 fun facts you might not have known about ice in Minecraft. Ice is one of the cooler blocks in the game, and at first it just seems like it's frozen water with low traction, right? So you can run really fast in it. But the reality is there are quite a few cool things that can only be done with ice that you might not know about otherwise that are really cool and worth knowing about. So that's why I'm making today's video. Hopefully you do like it. If you do, please do like it and let me know. It helps out the channel and lets me want to see more stuff like this on the channel. But let's get straight into this one, shall we? So let's start with, one of the easiest ones to talk about, which is one that's pretty useful for those of you who use farms. So this isn't very obvious at first glance, like a lot of this stuff, but basically having ice underneath your water makes the water actually flow faster. Even though the animation doesn't have any difference, you can see it looks like it's the exact same water, even though there's ice under this and there's dirt under this one. The reality is, if you put items in both of them, you can see how dramatic the difference is between that and between that. This travels at maybe a block a second. That travels at 6 or 7 blocks a second, making it just significantly faster. So if you need to get items from one place to another in a hurry, one of the best ways to do so is to use ice, because even if you have a chain reaction of redstone, it's still pretty hard to go that fast. I mean, it goes so fast, the speed almost has glitches, and it's very, very cool in that way. So yeah, if you want to make items go the fastest they possibly can for a cactus farm, a mob farm or something, definitely use ice under the water, because it's just a nice little way to speed it up. So second of all, we have having ice melt, and also the ability to make floating water sources. So you've probably seen at some point in your Minecraft career a friend who has floating water looking something like this. So basically the reason this can actually work is because when you melt ice, it turns into water, but it doesn't immediately turn into water that can actually it doesn't immediately turn into water that flows everywhere. It turns into a water source block. Then as soon as you make a block update, the blocks around it, then it starts flowing. So if I remove this torch, or if I place a block here, etc., that would cause the water to stop flowing. However, if you just ignore the blocks around it, and you can leave the torch there or leave it nearby, then you'll actually be able to just have a floating water source, which makes for some really weird and really cool parkour. So just look at this, like I'm flowing in the air in floating water, and now I'm like half in water, half not. It's very, very bizarre to look at, and it's also just a pretty cool thing. So if you want to do this, just have a block of ice somewhere. So let's just say the block of ice is going to be up there, and then have a torch somewhere within melting distance. I think that's a minimum of 6 blocks, and then, or it might even be like 4 or 5. But yeah, just place it somewhere nearby, ideally not in the block next to it, because then it's stuck there forever. And then eventually the ice will melt, because having a light level that high will make the ice melt, and you'll be left with a water source, which can be floating above nothing, can be floating on a block. It can do a bunch of different things, but it won't go anywhere until you give it a block update. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and that is the second fun fact. The third fun fact is also to do with lighting up ice, and kind of in the the different sense of the word though, because if you have a flint and steel, one of the fastest ways to break it, in case you want to break all the flint and steels, or if you're wondering exactly why this happens, basically when you light ice on fire, it doesn't do anything. You can't light ice on fire, right? However, for some because of the fact that something happens, it just doesn't actually properly activate. The flint and steel actually uses durability. So if you sit here and you spam your thing, you can actually break flint and steel the fastest by using by using it on ice, which is very bizarre, very backwards, but that is in fact something you can do. So you can see I've done absolutely nothing in the flint and steel, but it broke anyway. If you want to break your flint and steels really easily, you can do that on ice. I thought it was just pretty cool and worth showing off, and also it's just a bizarre thing where it doesn't make any sense, but it happens anyway. So moving on from this to fun fact number 4, we actually have the fastest way to travel is by using ice. So I'm sure a lot of you have experimented with this before, so I think I have to turn off flying. Give me a second. I'm sure you've experimented with having having like a ceiling like this, so when you jump, you go further, because when you jump off the block, it allows you to jump again, and you go that little bit faster than you otherwise would. However, this isn't the fastest way you can do things. A faster way is to put ice underneath you. So if I break all these blocks and put ice in there instead, I'll go a little bit faster. And then if I then combine that with trapdoors, so that the travel distance between jumping and the floor is even more decreased, then if I jump on this, you can see just how fast you can go. I believe the fastest speed you can achieve with this is something like 18 meters a second. It's only beat by traveling through the nether at insane speeds, and it's only beat by using ender pearls and stuff like that. It is the fastest method to transport on foot, and it's also very, very cool. The downside of this, in case you're wondering what's wrong with this, then basically the actual amount of hunger you use is very high. Jumping this much and sprinting at the same time is very bad, but I think the speed you get for it is more than worth the hunger, and since I'm using high saturation food anyway, it doesn't bother me. So look, it looks like the other ice is melted now, and you can see just random water above a block, random water above a torch. You can do random water just in midair, but that's how you do this stuff. So let's move on to number 5 here. So what is the last fun fact of the video? So this little fun fact involves pigs, and basically it's that pigs have even less traction than players when on ice. So you'd figure, you know, the physics of ice seem to be pretty consistent, except not really, because, you know, water travels differently and players travel differently, and also when there's trapdoors you go faster. But what makes this even weirder is that pigs have way less traction than you know, characters. So as you can see, this is the, you know, acceleration that the pig actually gets up to. But what makes it really crazy is that pigs traveling on ice, because of the fact that, you know, their physics are way different, they can actually travel much faster than a human can on ice. So even though a pig with a carrot on a stick isn't that great normally, if we combine this, you know, with ice, we can actually do some pretty cool things, and hopefully we can actually get some speed up here. And I think there's an amazing idea for a mini game here, where, you know, you and your friend are both on ice, and you gotta try and have a fight, staying on the pig the whole time. I think there's some pretty cool mini games there, because, you know, the amount of the slowness of the acceleration, I should say, is just really kind of you know, staggering to me. But it's also kind of cool the way it works. Pigs on ice, very weird traction physics. And the last fun fact of it, you see that just how far I went sliding when I went off. But yeah, very weird the way pigs and ice interact. I don't entirely know why that is, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, those were the 5 fun facts of today's video. In case you are wondering, this is not a glitch right here. This is actually something that still works on the PC version, has been working for something like 6 updates now. So presumably, you know, added in as a glitch, but it's just pretty handy because it means you can make floating water. And yeah, everything else in here is also pretty much not a glitch, and also very handy. So yeah, this is ice, one of my favorite blocks because it does so many cool things. I hope you did all enjoy this video. Let me know what your favorite fun fact was in the comments down below, and like the video if you did like it, share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.